What's up, everybody? Thanks for checking out Hunt, Shoot, Live. Super pumped about today's episode because I got a pretty cool product. Anytime I get to play with any kind of night vision or thermal stuff, I am thoroughly pleased to get to play with those kind of toys. So today's one of those days, or tonight's going to be one of those nights. This is the OneLeaf Digital Night Vision NV100 Plus. I had never heard of OneLeaf before, and they reached out and sent me this product, and so far it's pretty cool. So I am not only going to tell you all of the stuff that it comes with, walk you through some of the specs on it, but certainly going to do some recording and show you how it does during the day and how it does at night. You know, my first impression was kind of I won't say negative, but it was a little weird because, you know, this is not a crazy cheap product. It's certainly not expensive compared to other night vision, but it's you know, it's not like you're just throwing pocket change at it. And it just came in this cardboard box. Now, it was very well padded on the inside, so there's certainly no risk of damage. Very padded. But right off the bat, kind of looking at it and cracking it open, I guess I was expecting to open it up and it had some nice container, a nice hard thing that it was sealed in. It was not. It was just very well padded, and it happens to fit really well in a Crown Royal bag. So I happen to have one of those laying around. If you have one laying around, it certainly would work perfect for your OneLeaf, or that gives you an excuse to just go buy you some Crown, and well, you know what to do with that. Just be sure that you don't have the gun attached to the night vision if you drink the Crown first. Safety first. With the OneLeaf, you get quite a few things that comes with it. We'll talk about the unit itself in just a moment. It does already come with one of these rubber eye cups already on it that you can, you know, press it right up against and block out all of the light. It comes with two extra ones though that are different sizes, so you can find the one that works for you or works for the eye relief that you want to set it at. Comes with some extra O-rings and some Allen wrenches, your USB port so you can hook that into your computer, transfer things over without taking the SD card out if you didn't want to. But it does come with an SD card. SD card just inserts right here on the side of the unit. It came with the SD card, so you pop that right in. And it comes with the 18650 lithium-ion battery, which I was pretty pumped about that. I have received a few items from different companies that you're going to use in conjunction with your other hunting gear, and all of my other kit, all my hunting lights. The 18650 is a super common battery. The OneLeaf NV100 Plus does use an 18650 battery. It takes one of them, you just unscrew this and pop it in right there. So I was very happy about that. Now, the interesting thing about the NV100 Plus is that they send you this scope also. They don't send you the Daniel Defense, that's mine, but they send you this scope. So it's a combo. They are meant to be used together. You'll see that the night vision just pops right onto their scope, just like that. Little push, twist, click, and it's on there. Now, they do send you one of these little pieces that if you don't want to use the scope that they send, then you can clip it on there and use it with your scope. Now, I tried that, and they even send you some black tape as well so that you can wrap your scope and not scar your scope up. See how that clips on there to the end of that, and then you just screw this onto your scope. I couldn't get it. I got it on, but I never could get it to line up correctly. You put it on, and then you have to enter into the menu setting, and you line the crosshairs in this up with the crosshairs on your scope. Never could get it to line up right, and I tried adjusting the tape in different ways. Now, I will say that the objective on that particular scope, I want to say that it's like maybe a Leupold VX2, so it's a lesser expensive scope, and the objective on the back was quite small. So maybe if I had a little bit bigger of an objective, maybe it would have worked better. Now, they're a little bit vague on how to use this and what sizes and so forth that it comes in, or up to what size scope it will fit with. I couldn't find where they state how big this is, but this is a 35mm objective back here, and it's the exact size of that. So maybe if you have something, you know, we'll say less than 35 or super close to that millimeter for your back, it may fit better than mine did. But so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run it with the scope. I'm going to shoot it just a little here very shortly, and I'll have a better idea then. I had that Leupold on this, so again, it's not like I had a Night Force on it or something, and so I'm not really worried about using this, just as long as this will hold a 0. Now this scope, let's talk a little bit about this scope. It actually has quite a few nice features on it. It has the 56mm objective on the front, a 30mm tube, so tons of potential to gather light. It has a 1:11 illumination adjustment, and it comes with the battery. It's one of those CR2032 batteries. It already comes with the battery in it. 3 to 12 magnification range, so very nice for you know, very nice middle of the road kind of range, and certainly something that's going to work on your night hunting guns, unless you're used to shooting 600 yards at night. But otherwise, I really think it's going to work pretty well for you. Another thing that is pretty cool about this is it is meant to use, even though it's got caps on it, it's meant to use with an adjustable turret, and it has a 0 reset. So once you 0 your scope in, you unscrew the screws off the top of the cap here, and you reset it to 0, and boom, you can use your turret to make adjustments. Something that I don't like about it, which maybe shows that they didn't have a team of shooters developing this scope. It is 1/8 MOA, so that means it takes 8 clicks to get a full minute of adjustment, and you only have 4 clicks to change to your different numbers on your turret. So to go from 0 to 1 is 4 clicks. Well, with this being an 1/8 of an MOA scope, it should take 8 clicks to go from 0 to 1, because now your minutes are irrelevant. Using your numbers here, going from 1 to 2 is not a minute. It's actually a half a minute with this, because it's 1/8 MOA. So that's a little bit frustrating, but again, it ain't no Night Force. I got those sitting upstairs. I can handle a little bit lesser of expensive of an option here with this particular gun, because if I'm going to shoot 1,000 yards, again, I have other guns for that. And the scope itself it's got a really nice reticle, tons of features. I'll throw a picture of that up so you can see right now. You can use your reticle itself to make all your minute adjustments, either up or down or left or right, and it's got your manual that comes with this has well, it's what I'm showing you here in this picture. This is in the manual that comes with the unit. It shows you what the different hash marks are, so you've got some quick reference points on this, and of course each line is going to represent a minute on it. So you know, with a reticle like that and shooting closer range, 200 or 300 yards with this particular thing, really having an adjustable turret is irrelevant anyway, in my opinion. So that's pretty daggone cool. Very nice reticle, and of course, like I said, it is illuminated, and it has an adjustable range of 1 to 11 for intensity. A few other details about this. The night vision unit itself weighs 12 ounces. The scope weighs an additional 28 ounces. So you've got 40 ounces all together here with the night vision and with the scope together. That's certainly not ideal. It's definitely going to be heavier than what I had been running, but you know, I guess the night vision is going to work better than a big old powerful red light. So you know, there's that trade-off, and certainly we're not paying $2,500 for this. We're paying significantly less for this particular unit. So the scope is a second focal plane, which means that you can adjust the zoom and the reticle stays the same. It doesn't get smaller or larger. So that also means that your minute adjustment is only going to be correct at one particular magnification, and that's usually zoomed all the way in. This didn't specify, so I'm not certain about that, but it's almost irrelevant at the closer ranges. You know, anything inside of 200 and 300 yards anyway, there's not a huge deal there with that. And if you're not super familiar with shooting long range, some of the stuff I'm saying is going to be irrelevant to you anyway and sound like Greek. I totally understand that. Let's talk about some of the specs of the unit here, the actual night vision unit. Now, I tried to turn the menu on and record at the same time, and it would not let me do that. So maybe somebody far fancier than I could figure out how to do something like that. And it seems like I even watched another video and maybe they had figured it out. I am tech stupid, so I don't know how to do that, but I will walk you through all of the features that are on this bad boy. So you simply push this button right here. I will give you a close-up of what that looks like. You've got an on button there, and you've got your menu button, your infrared button, the button that turns your video on, and then your zoom button. It takes video 1080 HD or FHD, 30 frames per second, and it also takes pictures. I'll throw up some video and some pictures here momentarily, but first let me walk you through all the features on the menu. So on the menu screen, you just simply, once you've turned it on, you simply hit menu and it pulls it up on the left hand side, and you've got, I'll hit the high points. Your reticle center position, that's the one you're going to use to line up. Once you've got your scope lined up, then you turn this on and you adjust that down to where that hits at. Of course, you can change the color, you can change the movie mode between FHD and HD, you can change the exposure, the display brightness, lots of different you know, like saturation and different things with the picture quality that you can modify. You can change the movie time down as low as a minute up to 10 minutes of video time. And a cool feature potentially is you can have this automatically record when you boot it off. So what that does is when you if you set it to auto record when you boot off, that means when you turn it back on, it's going to automatically be recording for you, or that was the way I understood that anyway. It also has an auto save feature, so if you turn it off or if your battery dies or something and you had forgot to turn the record off, it's automatically going to save whatever recording that you were doing. Now it records video and audio, so it has an audio volume setting on here that you can adjust. Of course, you can set your clock and you can choose whether you want your videos stamped with the time and date and all that kind of thing. Now, I will say a couple other comments here. I filmed some doing the digital zoom on this, so not only can you zoom with your scope, but this has a digital zoom. It actually had a very nice quality. The digital zoom usually is trash on things that I've seen in the past. The digital zoom did not appear to be too awfully bad on this, I will say. So hopefully I can throw that up and you can see the quality was pretty good. I was pretty impressed. And the pictures, seem to be good quality, and I'm sure they'll probably show up even better once I actually pull up on my computer. Now, if you want to look at your video and your pictures on this before you put it to something else, this same button that's on the right hand side, that is the menu button, you just hold that down and it puts you into your videos, and you can watch your videos. Hold it again, puts you into your pictures. Hold it again, and it puts you back onto just the main screen again. So pretty simple function, really. It is no big deal to figure out the functionality of this, and the instruction manual that comes with it is very easy to understand. This was not complicated at all, which was very nice, because a lot of times things that are coming from overseas can get a little bit confusing, but that certainly did not appear to be the case with this particular unit. Okay, so I was going to tell you about the recording. I've not watched it on my computer yet, but you can watch the video and see it just fine. You can't hear the audio, but it does have a headphone jack on the same side that you plug the USB port or that you have your USB port and you plug your SD card. It has a headphone jack on that side. So if you want to listen to your videos on this, you can, but you have to plug the headphones in to get the audio. I will play some of the audio for you guys so that you can hear it. Didn't seem to be the greatest quality. Maybe that'll come through better though once it's uploaded to my computer. So that's pretty well the overview there. I'm going to sight the scope in, put this on, shoot just a little bit, and I will get some footage along the way, and I'll let you know how that goes.
I'm going to get this in the daylight, and I'm also going to get it tonight in the dark. Give you an idea of some of the yardage here. To the tree line there, you're looking at 30 yards. My target there, the white target, is 20 yards. And obviously that gong splits the difference. So 20, 25, 30 yards. You can sort of see back into the woods a little bit there. I'll get some more distance here in a moment. But and purposefully showing you these objects because I'm going to come out here and get these at night as well. Now those are pretty close, you know, it's about 10 yards. It's a pretty good image during the daytime. Okay, I'm out here recording where I did earlier with this in the daylight. This is nighttime, obviously. Try to hit some of the same stuff that I did. Of course, it is pitch black out here, so I would not be able to see if it were not for the infrared. Now, the top of the unit, well, let me back up. You do turn the infrared on by long pressing the left-hand button. And it comes on after about 2 seconds, 3-second hold. The infrared light, let me get that right here. It's you can pull it in and out to adjust the intensity. So there, I pushed it in. Those lights are actually only probably about 10 or 15 yards in front of me, so you can see you lose quite a bit of intensity if you cut it down, and gain a lot if you put it out. So I really don't know why you would want it in, because it seems like pushed out gets you way more. It's on up into the woods there. And some of that you couldn't see earlier, really, in the daylight. And I almost forgot to take this off and show you without the scope on. So this is just the unit itself, not the scope. some of the stuff that we looked at earlier. Pitch black, of course, now. That's, 30, 40 yards to the building. $50 or so yards to the road there. Gravel. My power box. Going on down the road. With the built-in infrared, looks like you've got about maybe 75-ish yards that you're going to be able to see. And that's going to be about it. But you could get an external infrared flashlight and certainly increase that. I want to show you too how to make the reticle pop. You can turn the illumination on and that reticle really pops. Turning it down a little bit.
Okay, I did my reticle center position alignment, so you go to the menu and it's actually the first thing that shows up. It was really close to where it needed to be. So you just adjust it left, right, up, down to center it up with where you've got yours zeroed in at, and hit the OK button, which is the center button, and it saves it. I did have to, the adjustment for your focus is right here on the unit itself. So the focus was actually different to be able to see my my crosshairs very, very clearly as compared to what I needed for my target. So I may have to play with that just a minute, play with the focus here and get everything lined up, because there is, you're combining two different optics together, so going to be a little bit of adjustment. So let me get that set. Reticle's lined up, so let me get my focus set, and we'll send some downrange. Okay, we're ready to record.
So I hit the record button. I see in the upper left hand corner that it is recording. Let's send a few downrange. Awesome. Let me zoom out. Yeah.
A few thoughts. I'll share all of my thoughts until I actually get some night footage. But so far, for the price point, it's pretty cool. I can't wait to actually get the footage on my computer and see what it looks like. I do wish the quality looking through this was better, and it was really, really hard to, well, as a matter of fact, I never did completely get both the object that I'm aiming at and the reticle to come into perfect focus at the same time. So I just sort of had to find this place where I chose to be able to see my target clearly and then my reticle not as clearly, and I just had to adjust them both until I found that kind of sweet spot. I couldn't find the sweet spot that I wanted, so it appears as though you can adjust this on your scope to get your reticle into focus, but then when you adjust your focus on your unit to focus back in on your target, it all goes out of focus. And the opposite, of course, is true. I tried to get the unit focused in first so that the target looks really good, and then mess with this to change the reticle, and then everything would go blurry. So it seems like you could either have one or the other, but you couldn't have both perfectly, so that's very unfortunate. I want to share my final thoughts. I'm going to include both the positive and the negative. I'm going to do the negative first because I want to finish on the positive. And there's tons more positive than there is negative. But I do want to hit a few things that I didn't like. I'll talk a little bit more about that. So, positive coming, lots of positive is coming. But let's hit the negatives first. So, most simply, just a really simple gripe, the flip-up covers that come with the scope are really cheap, plastic. And my scope, whenever I was shooting it, I had it flipped open, and I bumped my scope, my gun over, and it just hit the ground, and it broke the flip-off cover off the scope cover already. So they're useless, but I've never had good luck with any of those flip-open scope covers. I like the bikini covers a little bit better. So that's a minor thing. Sticking with the scope, I don't really have any major negatives about the scope itself other than what I already shared with you guys about the turret system. I don't like the 1/8 MOA, and they've given you supposedly a usable turret system with the numbers on it, but it doesn't match up to moving it from 0 to 1 is not 1 minute. That is half a minute, because going from 0 to 1 is 4 clicks, but this is a 1/8 MOA scope. That's a kind of a minor pet peeve, I guess, because again, as I had already said in the video, I think you're probably going to be using this mostly from 300 yards in, and really, 100, 150 yards. I know most of the critters that we end up killing when we're hunting at night, if you call a fox in, they're super close. The coyotes are maybe a little bit further, but you're calling foxes and bobcats in really close. So anyway, I think that's a minor pet peeve. Overall, the scope appears to be good. Now, I've not shot it a lot. I don't know if it's going to hold 0, but that's my only thing with it. The 1/8 adjustments there with the way they did the numbers on the turret. Don't care for that. The night vision unit itself, the things I don't like. You guys probably heard in some of the recording that I included on here that you're obviously right up in it, so it's getting you breathing. So if you're breathing heavy at all, or if everything else is quiet, and you're going to hear you breathe. So I don't like that. Probably no way around that. Something that is a legit gripe is there is noise. There's just some kind of noise that it's recording. From, I don't know if it's gears turning within the unit or how that works, but it's recording some kind of noise that is not an external noise. It's definitely internal within the unit, but it doesn't seem to be majorly overbearing or anything. Again, go back and listen to some of the audio, and if you hadn't caught it the first time, I'm sure you'll hear that little bit of a kind of a mechanical type noise. But secondly to that, the audio is not great. It doesn't even come close, obviously, to like a camera unit like I'm using here to film this right now, but it gets the job done. And I guess what's more important is the video quality, and the video quality seems to be good. So, but that's a positive I'll talk more about when I'm talking about the positives. The video quality is good on your computer, but the image quality through the unit itself is not great. Right in the center there is, but you get this kind of a distortion from the center the further it goes out. And you can go into the menu settings, and there's a place where you can adjust that. Maybe it's where I have to wear corrective lenses to see, I don't know, but I just never could get it to where it was perfect all over the screen. It seemed like the center part of the image was best, and the further you got toward the edge, it wasn't as good. And I tried to adjust, and I just couldn't get it. So the image was absolutely good enough that it's not going to impede any kind of identification of animals, the effective, safe killing of an animal. It's certainly not going to cause any problems with that, or picking your target out safely, being able to make sure you know what you're shooting at. You can see very clearly, but it just gets a little fuzzy once it gets over toward the edge. And then finally, I alluded to, I mentioned this there a minute ago when I filmed myself actually shooting this, but just I never could seem to get the scope and the unit adjusted together, focused in at the same time. You know, either the reticle was in focus and your target image was off, or the target image was in focus and the reticle was off, but that was no big deal. I want to identify my target positively, so I made sure that the unit itself was in focus, and then I just adjusted the scope until it was good enough that I could see. Now, I did notice, though, when I filmed that part of the video, and you guys can go back and watch it if you want to, that once I zoomed out, that the focus problem went away. It really cleared up everything, and you had a clear image and you had a clear reticle at the same time. So what I probably, and this is a good segue into the what should I have done had I had more time to get this video, but I've been telling them for 2 weeks that I was going to have this out, so I don't want to take any more time. But what I'm about to say, and then I've got one other thing that I would like to test a little bit more. But it seemed like, number one, it seemed like that going ahead and zooming out on your scope, you know, putting it on 3 or 4, something like that, and because that allowed you, being on 3 or 4 or 5, that allowed you to get this in focus and to be able to focus your reticle really well. But then maybe use the digital zoom with this unit, because it did seem, and I included some of these clips as well of the digital zoom, it seemed like this kept decent quality with the digital zoom. So maybe using the digital zoom instead of trying to zoom your scope in will let you keep your quality, your image quality better. I don't know. There again, though, maybe the digital zoom will mess up the image of this. Not sure. That's something that I would like to play with. I will play with that a little bit more, but I can't speak to 100%. The second thing that I didn't get to test that I want to test, I definitely want to test this because this will make cool. Obviously, it'll make cool YouTube videos. But there is a slow-mo shot filmer built into this, into the menu section. You just go in, turn it on in the menu, and then it films your shots in slow-mo or something. Again, I didn't get to play with that. It's super simple to click it and select that option, so all I would need to do is select it, take some shots, and go back and watch the film. So it seems like that's what it is, a slow-mo film recorder. But I did not have time to test that, and I'm sorry that I didn't have time to test those two things. So now all of the positives about the OneLeaf Commander NV100 Plus. It performs extremely well comparatively to what you would have to pay for other night vision items. Obviously, this is very affordable. I will put a link to this product in the video description to their on their website, to the OneLeaf website, so you guys can go check this out and purchase it from them. I recommend it. I recommend this because I like it. It's not because they've paid me to say that. They did send me this unit, but they have not paid me any money. It is a good product, and it seems like it does exactly what they advertise it to do. I like that it records your video. The sound quality is not great, but you still get sound from it. You can use it in the day, you can use it at night. It uses the 18650 batteries. The IR unit itself, that's the IR flashlight unit itself, has a little screw-on cover, and then you just, so it protects your light, keeps your light from getting dirty, and you just unscrew that, and then you're ready to go. It's adjustable. You can have a wide focus on it, or you can zoom it in, zoomed in. Seemed to work better in most applications, and it seemed to be effective out to 75 to 100 yards with that. But you know, you can I use this right here to mount a red light when I'm traditionally coyote hunting and things at night. I'll just mount an IR light on there now, and I'll have an external IR torch on there, and this thing will be even more effective out to 300 or 400 yards or whatever with that external thing. So you know, that's great. The built-in light's good, but that you're still not limited to that if you buy an external unit with it. Obviously, it takes an SD card that I didn't have to I popped it right out of this and plugged it right into my computer, used Windows Media Player to look at the videos, and I put those on my video editing software. Had no problems with that, so that worked really well. The scope works great. This is another, that reminds me of another negative. I didn't get to test that adapter to use on like my existing scopes any more than just on that really smaller one, and it didn't work. I would like to test it more just to see. Surely, I think it will work with a bigger one, or I would think they wouldn't even include it if you just can't get it to work. But I'm assuming a bigger objective scope it's going to work on. But you know, that was I would have liked to have kept my scope on here because I liked that Leupold and I'd had it on here all for a long time. It was already zeroed in, obviously. However, it wasn't a big heartbreak to put this scope on because this seems to be a nice scope. I like the illuminated reticle. It so far has held zero, not shot it much, but it was very easy to sight in. It adjusted exactly like I needed it to. You know, it seems like the adjustments are accurate. You know, 1/8 click MOA seems to be what it is. I didn't have any problems getting on out to 100 yards. I like the adjustment range. As a night hunter, I do wish that my scope started at a 1, but this starts at a 3, just because, you know, like I said, most of your shots are in pretty tight. But my Leupold started at a 3, so that's not really a knock to the scope. But you know, overall, it's very positive, very, very positive about this. Very few negative things that I have to say. It clips on super easy. I'm going to go ahead and throw up some of the snips from the product specs that I pulled from their website right now, just so you guys can have that here, which I encourage you to follow my link and go to their website, look at the product, and follow my link and purchase the product. I liked it enough that I am an affiliate with them now, so you know, you can get me a little bit of credit if you follow the link and purchase from my link. I think the OneLeaf product was really great. There's another night vision company that I've done a lot of stuff for. I think they're good too, but I've not got to test this type of product from them. So this is the first weapon-mounted night vision that I've got to test, and I really liked it. I'm excited to get into predator season this season and get to actually use this, and hopefully get a few critters filmed and get a video put up using the OneLeaf NV100 and the rapid fire scope. But check out these specs. A lot of this stuff I didn't take time to share. Hopefully you found this informative. I appreciate you guys, as always, for checking out Hunt, Shoot, Live. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I encourage you to take the time to go check out our playlist. Well, I got tons and tons of other product reviews, tons of other comparisons, and we've got hunts and all kinds of different videos. So check out our playlist and roll on over to huntshootlive.com. Got some articles and some products there. You can get you a t-shirt. But be sure to subscribe. Don't run away before you subscribe, and like this video. Give us a thumbs up and a share. Thank you guys so much for watching today. Appreciate you. God bless you. We'll see you next time.